So essentially, this was the character that they needed to release rather than nerfing Teleria and Vila into pretty much non-existence, because you could have just had King Joffrey come out and just like nerf everything that's happening with your life. Hey, thanks so much for checking out the channel. If you're curious about any other hero in Empires and Puzzles, you can view my website at anchorgame.com. There you will find I've graded every single hero with a calibrated team of graders. This resource will always be free. Thinking about supporting the hero grades and the breakdown videos? You're welcome to donate. Otherwise, feel free to share this resource with a friend. I have my exclusive line group called Anchor Cove, where you gain access to myself and tons of other experienced players with on-demand information and resources. If that piques your interest, all that information is on the opening page of my website with a short video. Let me dive into today's hero breakdown. Hey, thanks so much for checking out the channel. Today we're doing a brand new hero breakdown on King Joffrey, also known as Reuben. This is by far the most disturbing character that Empires and Puzzles has ever created. I don't know what's going on here. He's got 766 on his attack, 737 on his defense, and 1310 on his health. Statistically, he's about average throughout. Nothing pops out really at all. He is running at fast speed. He also comes with an innate resistance against ailments that affect mana generation. Mana generation doesn't apply to status ailments that stop mana generation or steal mana. So essentially, he stops Teleria. When there's any reducing of mana that happens, he resists it. He says, I don't care about that. This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. It is a free massive turn-based dark fantasy RPG. If you want a huge head start in Raid, all you have to do is click the link in the description. If you're a new player, you get a 1-day XP boost, 3 Raid Flasks, 1 Ancient Shard, 1 Void Champion Bulwark, and 50 gems. All your treasure, it's waiting for you right over here. He deals 215% damage to the target and nearby enemies. All allies get minus 50% reduction to damage received from status effects for 4 turns. And an elemental link which summons a fire minion for all fire allies with 5% HP and 10% attack inherited from the caster. So essentially, this was the character that they needed to release rather than nerfing Teleria and Vila into pretty much non-existence, because you could have just had King Joffrey come out and just like nerf everything that's happening with your life. But instead, they just decided to nerf the best heroes in the game that were the most easily accessible, and then essentially render a new hero of the month useless because he really doesn't impact too much anymore. But here we are. The very important thing to know about his ability is he gets minus 50% reduction from damage received from status effects. So this is not direct damage. So essentially, if a hero like Seshak goes off and deals a bunch of direct damage to you, he doesn't reduce that by 50%. The only thing he reduces is damage that is dealt over time. So characters like Gravemaker and Vila, stuff like that, when damage is received over time, he reduces that damage by 50%. So it is not direct damage. If it's direct damage, he'd be pretty sweet, but he doesn't. So he's not that great, unfortunately. He is a cleric class hero, and if you are essentially putting emblems on him, I would probably go with the standard attack, defense, health. So prioritize your attack, defense, and then health when you go through. He does have pretty decent health stats, but I think you got to figure out what it is that you're using him for. When we look at his Titan grade, he is going to get a B- on the Titan. The reason being is he really doesn't do anything, especially against the blue Titans, because it's not like they're dealing damage over time or anything like that. It's not a great hero for that at all. You're not doing anything. He's got 766 on his attack, which is decent. But his ability to deal damage doesn't really do too much. I mean, maybe you could give him a little bit of credit because he's going to summon a fire minion for all fire allies, but not my best character that I'd be bringing on a Titan team, and that's why he's got the B- grade. Maybe this goes into a B, but I don't see it going any further than that. When we look at his offensive grade, he is going to get a B+. Now, this character is really good against the standard meta, which is going to be like Gravemaker, Telly, Vila. But that is now shifted a bunch because they've nerfed those characters too much. So now it's not really that much of a factor. You've got a lot of characters now on defense that have just taken over. I would say over the last like 2 months, the whole meta is completely shifted to now we're worried about Frigg and essentially like Odin, or like Killhair, just a lot of direct damage. Even Cobalt, just that insane blue ninja is just coming out and they're just dealing a whole bunch of damage. So I don't really see him going too much, but I guess if you're going against the standard formation to where you're getting damage over time, when you're facing against like Gravemaker and Vila, there is some usability here, and that's why he's got the B+. Now, it is decent for his damage that he's dealing the 215% damage to the target and nearby enemies. It does help out a bit if you compare him with some other heroes, but I think it's okay. It's above average. That's why he's got the B+. Now, when we look at his defensive grade, he is going to get a B as far as the tank grade goes. He does have okay stats as far as defensively and his health total, and if they are essentially setting themselves up to where they're reducing mana or reducing damage that's dealt to him, may be useful. Probably not the best position. He is going to get a B grade, about average. Now, when we look at his flank and his wing grade, he is going to get a B+ grade there. I could see some usability to where you shift him maybe into the flank. He could work with Teleria, especially if they're trying to deal damage over time to your whole team. Could help out. But where he is dealing somewhat of usefulness is going to be the 215% damage to the target nearby enemies. Not to mention he is running at fast speed. So that does help out multi-hitter at fast speed. He is going to get a B+, but nothing too crazy. And again, that also shifts into the wing grade, which is going to get a B+. Defensively, he is going to get an overall B+ grade. Maybe I gave him a little bit too much credit. This could possibly go into a B. There is that flexibility there. I think that there is enough usefulness in terms of the 215% damage to the target nearby enemies. And then it is pretty cool that all allies get the minus 50% reduction in damage received for 4 turns. So there is a possibility for him. Now, when we look at his weekly raid grade, he is going to get a B+ on rush attack. Again, he's above average. I think that it helps out with the reduction of the damage received, but it's not going to be anything too crazy. With him now running at very fast speed, you've got that pretty much covered, and I think that he could be an all-star against teams that are really focused on dealing damage over time. He is going to get a B+. And on buff, he is going to get a B grade there. With him just dealing the damage there, it's not really too much of a factor with the reduction of damage received for 4 turns. Typically, they're going to impact it a little bit more in buff to where they're buffing their guys to possibly deal direct damage. He's got a B essentially because he's just running at fast speed. And then on Bloody Battle, he is going to get a B. This might be close to a B+, possibly. Some usability, but nothing that I'm really too crazy about. He is going to get an overall grade of a B+. I think there might be a little bit too much credit for him. I think he could possibly go down to a B. I don't think it goes down to a B- because he does deal the damage, it does help out, and he could be a really niche hero. Now, with that in mind, guys, it's still important that you potentially get characters like this because as we've seen, the meta can shift quite a bit. So myself as a player, I do try and get the hero of the month if I can, just because even if they're bad right now, they could become good later on. You look at a hero like Grimble, which when he came out as a hero of the month, I'm pretty sure I've got some sort of clips out there where I'm talking about this is like the worst hero they've ever released, but now Grimble's pretty decent. So just keep that in mind that he does fit a very niche ability, being able to reduce the damage of dots for 4 turns. So that is really useful. It's just not really useful right now. So I don't know as to if he's ever going to crack the defense, but I think he could be pretty good on offense, and I don't really see it being on Titan. So I've given him a little bit more of a grade of a B+ because there is that potential, and that he does fit the meta right now against Gravemaker and Vila, but I could see that very much shifting soon, and he could get a reduced grade. So a little bit of flexibility. Let me know in the comments. Do you think I got this right? Did I get this wrong? Thanks so much for watching this content. Make sure you subscribe. Guys, if you're watching the content videos, it really makes no sense for you to not subscribe to the videos. Just do it. Thanks so much. I'll see you on the next one.